December. That's the one that comes at the end of the year. Congratulations, you've survived 2021. As it's the last video like this for the year, I feel I should give honourable mentions to stories not covered in 2021, like how Facebook rebranded themselves as Meta. I didn't cover Mark Zuckerberg's vision for the metaverse, in which everyone gets some fake-looking CGI cartoon avatar of themselves. That's not footage of the fake CGI cartoon-looking avatar, that's just what Mark Zuckerberg looks like in real life. I also wanted to mention YouTube's decision to remove the dislike counter on videos. The reception for that was mostly negative, but for those of us that produce terrible content, it's been a blessing. You see, when a video has a very high volume of dislikes, it serves to inform others that click on the video if that video is worth their time. My viewing figures have never been higher now that it's gone. Of course, creators can still see those figures, so I can still see how out of touch I am with what people like. Now in December, 2021 ended. Okay, that didn't happen in December, but it did happen soon after. Immediately, in fact. We began December in the UK, still suffering the aftermath of Storm Arwen, which took place at the end of November, leaving a lot of homes without power.
Gale force winds and heavy snow have left thousands without power. This hospice in Northumberland is managing to run on a generator, but even that may run out soon.
Our fear is that the generator breaks down, packs up, and then we really would be in trouble.
The beginning of December is when Spotify Wrapped takes place, a report in which Spotify users are shown statistics of all of the content they've consumed over the year, which can then be shared over social media. If you don't know what Spotify is, it's like Netflix, only for music and podcasts. And if you don't know what Netflix is, it's like Telegram, only you can watch films on it. You might know some more woke individuals that usually take this opportunity to inform all of the sheeple that they're allowing the government to track them through all of the data that they're sharing. Because if there's anything about you that needs to be tracked, it's that you listen to the new Adele song 4 times. I noticed that there's no mention of albums on there. Probably because albums are just about dead, with thanks to streaming services like Spotify where you can customise your own playlists. Sorry, I've just got a notification here. It's a load of links to websites selling Adele merchandise. How did they know? The US won its appeal to have Julian Assange extradited. Tony, that's not Julian Assange, you've used a picture of Julian Sands. The WikiLeaks founder, pictured here with Helena Bonham Carter. Tony, that's a picture of Julian Sands again, not Julian Assange. Published classified military documents relating to the war in Iraq and Afghanistan. Right, let's move on, he's not going to get it. In case some of you watching are unaware, December is the month that Christmas happens. Some people forgot about that this year, because last year Christmas ended up being cancelled due to restrictions by the UK government on gatherings.
Last Christmas, while we were in lockdown, millions of people were unable to be with their families. Thousands of people waved through their care home windows at loved ones, wishing them a Merry Christmas from the side of the road. People died without that last touch from their daughters, their sons, their wives.
The restrictions were enforced a few days before Christmas. Then it surfaced this year that 2 days after those restrictions were enforced, the very people who enforced them had a massive Christmas party.
The guidance said, although there are exemptions for work purposes, you must not have a Christmas lunch or party where that is a primarily social activity. And in the morning that day, Boris Johnson tweeted, if you're forming a Christmas bubble, it's vital that from today you minimise contact with people from outside your household. Everyone must take personal responsibility, we were advised. Hours after that tweet was posted, in the evening of the 18th, there was a Christmas party in number 10.
Of course, they have denied that any Christmas party took place. In fact, there are loads of stories arguing that no party actually took place. They all contradict each other.
I don't even know if an event took place, but if it did, that no rules were broken.
What's the answer?
I don't know. It wasn't a party, it was cheese and wine.
Just be clear, it's not.
I've asked the Cabinet Secretary to establish all the facts and to report back as soon as possible.
If there was a party, which there wasn't, but if there was one, all of the guidelines were followed. Anyway, I wouldn't have known about it if there was one because I went home early while the DJ was setting up his gear. And nobody saw me leaving early as I had to leave through the back because they were delivering a keg at the front door. But there wasn't a party, so it doesn't matter. These things always smudge on the night, but the next day they never... And December is never complete without someone's Christmas being ruined somewhere due to a freak natural disaster. This year that happened across 6 states in the US, when a tornado left this trail of destruction. This is drone footage taken of the devastation left over Kentucky.
This has been the most devastating tornado event in our state's history. And for those that have seen it, what it's done here in Graves County and elsewhere, it is indescribable.
110 people were working inside this candle factory when it went down, across, inside out. Not sure what word to use to describe what happened there, because I can't seem to identify that as a building. Are those cars sticking out of the middle of it? That's awful. And I think those used to be buildings. And trees.
Nearly 200 troops from the National Guard are helping, and more than half of the population in this town are without electricity and water on one of the coldest months of the year.
Hopefully then they can restore that electricity soon. Although I'd have recommended a roof first if you're looking to put the heating on. December saw a substantial rise in a lot of countries in coronavirus figures, largely due to the highly transmissible Omicron variant, and due to everybody's tendency to want to have get-togethers over Christmas time. Yes, it's everybody's favourite subject. I think this year people were a bit more ready to go out and mingle though, which didn't help. Last year people were more willing to comply and stay in. Well, most people were. Because a year ago, the first vaccines were only just beginning to be rolled out, and the majority of people were hopeful that once everybody had been vaccinated, then COVID would be over and everything would be fine again. Only now we're being told that the 2 initial doses and then a booster still isn't enough, and they're going out coughing in each other's faces anyway. You know what? I think I'd like to have a go at some of my own scaremongering. If you don't go out to get vaccinated and agree to all of the subsequent boosters, you will be hassled by text messages, emails and letters telling you that you haven't been jabbed yet. I wonder how many words and phrases I've said so far that I'm not supposed to. Sport! Tony, normally you do a sound effect in the editing after I film that bit. We'll try again. Sport! That's better. He's probably still annoyed about that Julian Assange debacle. Hardly any football took place in December because nearly all of the footballers had COVID and most of the matches ended up being cancelled. The Formula 1 final in Abu Dhabi did go ahead though. And controversially, it was Max Verstappen who won the championship for the first time. Apparently Formula 1 is more complicated than just driving round and round really fast. There was a crash and debris was everywhere, so the safety car came on. Only it was the end of the race by that point, so it gave everybody a chance to catch up to Lewis Hamilton, who was in the lead.
But we're halfway round already.
Race control are now saying lapped cars to overtake the safety car.
Only Verstappen, who was in second place, had just had some brand new tyres put on. So if they did decide to remove the safety car, then that would have put him at some advantage. But they wouldn't remove the safety car with just 1 lap to go, would they?
So, there's confusion, but the safety car is coming in at the end of this lap. We're going to have 1 lap of racing.
Oh right, okay, they would. And they did. Supposedly that's seen as an unfair practice. So after Verstappen took the lead in that final lap and went on to win, Mercedes tried to appeal it twice, but both attempts were rejected because they'd look silly if they accepted them and it would have been embarrassing. We wrapped up 2021 on New Year's Eve with the news that Betty White had died, which was a bit of a downer, yet it didn't really surprise anyone, which you could also say to summarise the year as a whole. Now may 2022 have mercy on you, unless you're watching this in the future and you weren't even born yet in 2022. What a terrifying thought.